move on to trustee reports. I would begin tonight with a report to the board regarding the initial meeting of the DC3 FHSU Steering Committee, which met here on this campus July 24th, 2014. This was chaired by Dr. Blake Flanders from KBOR, and those represented that meeting included members from Dodge City Community College, from Fort Hays, and from Kansas Board of Regents. President Woodburn was in attendance, President Martin from Fort Hays, and outgoing President Ed Hammond as well. The main work of that strategic or steering committee session was the development of some subcommittees for work on this proposal in the works for merger/partnership with Fort Hays. And so there were 4 subcommittees developed that morning, first of which Budget and Finance. Obviously a highly important committee, and the work of that is going to lead to suggestions regarding legislative changes that are going to be required for this new entity to operate. I thought it was interesting in that discussion as well that if we're able to bring forth some of these legislative changes, it actually could be a benefit to most of the community colleges in the state, not just to us, in terms of freeing up some of their funds that are at this point constrained legislatively. So there are other options in addition to the legislative route, but that's going to be obviously of huge importance. There are opportunities for this board to be involved in these subcommittees as long as we don't have more than 2 at once. I think Dr. Reeves is going to be on that Budget and Finance Committee, and maybe others as well. The second committee or subcommittee is the Academic Organization or Workforce, which is going to help work on the roles that these 3 entities will play in the future. The 2-year college, community college, the Baccalaureate Center, and then the Tech Center. Obviously a lot of work needs to go into that, and the next meeting of that subcommittee is in process. Difficult to get everybody around and available, but the work is beginning there. At this meeting, a report from Fringe Benefits and HR was brought forward. A lot of that work has already been done, and the comparisons of various things for faculty benefits, salaries, those type things, insurance has been done, and now it just needs to have a report sent out from that committee, but a lot of work has already been accomplished. Finally, the legislative subcommittee, which is informal at this point, but is going to play a big role in the future. Primarily, it's going to be advocacy and outreach starting out, and that'll be important in Topeka. So the reporting structure that is going to be developed out of this, I think, is important to keep in mind as well. Fort Hays and Dodge City Community College are going to work together developing a web page or website jointly where the work of these subcommittees can be looked at, viewed, and suggestions made, comments, those type things to keep that process going forward. So to be determined in the future, at some point we'll have that specific website for you. Thad Russell may have more information about that in the future. Again, I would like to stress that the work of these subcommittees are things that are open for our board to be involved in if you have the inclination or the time to spare. So that
I want to
constitutes my
comment
report.
about the website just
Yeah, go ahead.
I really believe that I think one of the biggest complaints that I've heard is that people really don't know what's going on. And I think this website will solve all of those issues. We will start, and Thad and I were visiting about it today, we will have that website probably up and running within 10 days.
Okay, good.
And we will put the minutes of our very first meeting on that website so that the discussions and every word that is said will be available to anyone that wants to look at it. And I think Dr. Martin has indicated that she is very interested, as I am very interested, in complete transparency on the work of this committee. And I know you agree with that. So
Right.
I think that's coming, and hopefully it will put a lot of mind at ease.
Yeah. I would add to my comments as well that first time I'd been able to meet Dr. Martin was at that meeting, and was really impressed with her fund of knowledge about how these kind of processes work. I think her abilities and strengths and gifts are going to be a real benefit to this process.
I concur.
Yeah. So she's going to be excellent to work with. All right, Morris Reeves.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I too attended the steering committee and found it to be, I thought, a very excellent committee and moving in the right direction. Also happy to report that I've been in communication with the Dodge City staff and Mike Barnett from Hayes working on the fiscal numbers. We've scheduled a meeting sometime latter part of this month prior to the board meeting on prior to the steering committee. I think we'll have some pretty good data to report to the steering committee at that time.
Yeah, that next meeting is August 27th in Hayes.
We'll meet before then to
Yeah.
make sure we're all on the same page before the 27th.
Apples and apples and oranges to oranges.
All right. Florence Jean.
Yes, well, very shortly today at noon, we had a meeting of the lecture committee, and as most of you all are aware, there's a wonderful lecture on our calendar, and it'd be very good if everybody promoted that as they're out in the community, so that's exciting. It's really an exciting thing that we're developing that lecture series. I've had two interesting visits, one with Dr. Martin, and she sent me a personal invitation, and I think it's because I am the senior minority member of this board. And we had a nice visit, just the two of us, and I too am impressed with her genuineness, her courtesy, and her graciousness. And I do have to say that I believe if we could have been dealing with this lady all this time, there would not have been the suspicion and the divisiveness that there is out in the community because of the lack of transparency. And she made that statement too, that she does not intend for any of this to be unknown. So I appreciate that. I guess that's enough to say about that too, because we will see as we go how that works out. I want to congratulate Bev Kimott, because she is, and somebody else may be making this statement, the senior director for the Sublet. You'll have to tell us what that is, Bev, but it's interesting as they go into higher education
Right.
advisory. So,
Thank you very much.
yeah, so we're lucky to have Bev in that position. So congratulations, Bev. That may be, the other person that I visited with, I said I had two interesting visits. I spent the evening with Linda Fund and had a nice visit with her, and some of the questions that we're asking about community colleges, of course, are of prime interest to her. And as she visits with other community colleges, there will be many, many, many questions, and let's hope that, as you said, legislation might come about that would benefit all the community colleges, which is the way it should have been in the first place. So, with that, that's it.
All right, thanks. Dr. Presley.
Not a lot new. I apologize for my absence at last month's meeting, and I'm really glad to hear a lot of the good things that have come and the continued talks, and really look forward to as we progress through this. And of course, I always encourage, I'm glad we're putting the website up, and I agree with transparency, but there's a lot of empty seats in the room too, so people are always welcome to come and sit here with us. So.
All right, thanks.